Okay.
Welcome to Godly Play on this Sunday. I am so glad that we can come together in this way, in this new way, and still share and hear the stories of the people of God, in this room especially. And I'm grateful to Chris that he's able to come and help me with that. And the first thing that we do when we come together on Sunday, whether it's in our homes or whether we're in this room, I say, God be with you.
And also with you.
And then we look over to see what time is it in the church. And as we look over to the circle of the church year, we see that we are still in the green and growing time. So now it's time to get ready to hear the story for today. And we get ready to listen all by ourselves. Sometimes we can think about singing a special kind of song that helps us get ready. And one that I have used in the past is something called Be Still and Know That I Am God. 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 So we can be still and listen to this story for today. In the beginning, God created everything. And God said, "It is very good." But then terrible things began to happen. And God decided to send a great flood that would cover the earth and wash it clean and new and begin again. But then God saw one good family. The man's name was Noah, and his wife, her name was Nemar. And Noah walked with God. And God came so close to Noah, and Noah came so close to God, that he knew what God wanted him to do. God wanted Noah and his family to build a great boat called an ark. Noah and Nemar had 3 sons who also had wives, and the whole family began the work of building the ark. As they began to build the ark, the creatures came from the 4 directions of the earth, and they came 2 by 2. 2 of every kind of creature on the earth. And they went inside the ark. when the ark was finished and all the creatures were inside, Noah shut the door. And then it began to rain. And at first it was like an ordinary rain, except it kept on raining. It rained and it rained and it rained. And the water came up from beneath the earth, and it fell from the skies, and great puddles formed on the earth and ran together until everything was covered with water. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights. And when the creatures looked out from the ark, all they could see was water everywhere. But God did not forget the creatures on the ark. After 40 days and 40 nights, the rain stopped, and God sent a great wind to dry up the water. And it began to go down. And then Noah took the dove, and he held it gently in his hands, and then he released the dove, and it flew, and it flew, and it flew, and Noah held out his hands to receive the dove. There was no place on the earth for the dove to land. Noah waited 7 days, and then he released the dove again, and it flew, and it flew. Noah held out his hands and received the dove, and this time there was a tiny olive branch in its beak. There were things growing on the earth again, green and growing things. Noah waited 7 more days and released the dove again, and this time the dove did not return, because it had found somewhere safe where it could build its nest. So Noah knew now that the animals, the creatures, could come down off the ark. It felt so good to feel the earth beneath their feet again. They were so happy to be home, and they just had to pray to God. And so they gathered together some stones, and they built an altar, and they prayed their prayers of thanksgiving for being brought safely home. And suddenly they looked up in the sky, and there was a bow of many colors, what we call a rainbow. We see a rainbow when the sun shines after the rain. And when the creatures saw the rainbow in the sky, they knew that that was God's promise to all creation, that God would never again send a flood that would cover the entire earth. And the creatures then went out in the four directions of the earth to fill it up with life again. So now that you've heard this story, I wonder, what was your favorite part of this story? I wonder what part you thought was the most important part. I wonder if any part of this story is especially about you. I wonder if there's any part of this story you would leave out if you could, but we would still have the story we need. There's so much to think about with this story. So I wonder what your work will be today now that you've heard it. You could go outside and look at God's creation. You could play outside, or you might want to write something or paint something. Only you know what materials you have at home that you could use for this work time. And as you think about what your work might be today, I'd like to share with you a prayer of thanksgiving. This is one that we have shared before, and it's one that has words and actions, and you can join me in any way that you want. Creator God, you feed my soul. With the whole earth, you feed my soul. With the creatures that walk and swim and fly, you feed my soul. With the wind and the rain, you feed my soul. With the stars in the heavens, you feed my soul. And I grow strong in my heart and my mind and my spirit with your gifts. Amen.